So our next speaker, Sanyogg, stage is all yours.
Thank you, Amit. It was great session. Think like an architect by Ruchit, and various secret sources has been shared by Ruchit, and the challenges which is facing while development, what as an architect and how the development can thought with different process. It was really knowledge sharing session. Thanks, Ruchit. And uh, let me present my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I have been hacked.
You have been hacked. So as we saw that Rochit also added in the challenges which is talking about the security gap. So my topic is about that only, which is related to WordPress and how if the security gap is there and what can be the challenge phase that the screen what you can see that which is you've been hacked. So in audience, I like to know how many people has been seen this such kind of screen, like the screen, not only this type of screen, but something which is they feel that their site has been hacked.
I personally face in past.
Okay. सब लोग अगर सबका कैमरा ऑन कर देंगे तो बढ़िया रहेगा, अदरवाइज मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं खुद से ही बात कर रहा हूँ. That's great. That's great. तो सिर्फ रुचित ने ही फेस किया है, बाकी कोई नहीं है. Come on, wake up.
बट कोई बोलेगा नहीं.
सब लोग सो गए लगता है. मैं सबके मील के बीच में मेरा सेशन चालू हुआ है. आई नो एवरीबडी इज हंग्री. सो दिस इज अबाउट द टॉपिक which is WordPress security. Let me introduce about myself. I'm a Sanyogg Shelar. Also, I'm working with a national cybercrime reporting portal, as well as the working with Maharashtra State Police for many cyber cases, which is day-to-day or case-to-case basis assigned to me. I'm also working with the Madpopo for as a system architect for their hosting infrastructure, and also CEO at Version X Technologies Private Limited. So let's understand the WordPress threat and landscape. So मुझे आपसे जानना है कि आप सबने क्या क्या चैलेंज अब तक फेस किए थे रिलेट टू वर्डप्रेस. मतलब जैसे कि अगर आप वर्डप्रेस यूज कर रहे हैं या पीएचपी कोई भी एप्लीकेशन यूज कर रहे हैं, तो आपको जो चैलेंजेस फेस हुआ था, मतलब जैसे कि किसी को मैलवेयर अटैक हुआ रहेगा, किसी को रैंसमवेयर अटैक हुआ रहेगा साइट पे, या किसी का साइट पे डेटाबेस अटैक करके किसी का पूरा डेटा चेंज हुआ है. सो ऐसा काफी सारा केसेस रहेगा सबके पास. सो एनीबडी लाइक टू शेयर अबाउट दोस केसेस? आप बोल नहीं सकते तो आप चैट पे लिख सकते हैं.
I have also a malware attack, also Japanese keyboard attack in my website.
ओके.
मेलवेयर अटैक हुआ था 2-3 वेबसाइट में.
ओके. ओके.
Also getting
Yes.
spam emails in contact form 7.
That's right.
I have faced the issue sometimes,
Share
like,
malware.
am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I have faced the issue like sometimes in our root file structure in WordPress, there is a coming automatically .htaccess file automatically generated in every folder. So I don't know what is the reason behind that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason is simply that same, which is your site has been hacked only. That
Yeah.
is the reason the file structure get changed, or something which is not created by you, or something content which is illegally accessed by someone else, and that the physical digital print has been changed. That is what the basically someone in your computer, and that is the reason that all the data is changed. That is called hack only.
But this is the main reason frequently it's coming in the WordPress, like
Correct. Because so that is what the I'm going to present about that how things can be happen and how there is various case study I'm going to share, and that will definitely help you about that how this things happening with your site.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
so there's a first is which is malware. If you aware about the story, which is the Troy story. Anybody know about this movie? The Troy basically that the movie was about that they wanted to win that particular kingdom and they could not able to win. So what they have gifted a horse to the king that and they accepted that horse and that horse was contain the all the soldiers and they have attacked that particular kingdom at the night. This is was the movie about that and they have win that particular kingdom. So that's a similar way the malware work, which is like a it's come in your system with the glory which they show something different and it behind the scene the attacker who created this particular malware they have a different agenda behind that. So as we see that something systems which is we don't know about that and it's something happening which is behind that our control. So that is how the malware basically malware if you see some sites like they showing something adware or something which is the content which is changed or something which is that the when you open that particular site it's taking you the something redirected to another PC another website or something which is download at your machine that the site is which is infected. So that's how the malware basically work is targets created site when the people open your particular site. So it's a basically a source system which is created for to generate more attacks from that particular site. So that's how the malware works, and it get infect to your users as well as who are basically using your site, who are using your e-commerce portal or blog or anything which is related to WordPress site or any PHP site. That's how the malware attack. So anybody know about the brute force attack? The brute force basically something which is like somebody is knocking your door and trying to open with the different key combinations. That's how the brute force software work. Basically, if your password is weak, let's say password is something 1234Y or something which is a very common password, generic password. So brute force software, there is a specially software which is created for to attack this kind of issues only. Let's say for example, there is a Rufus, there is a word list, there is a WP scan, there is an brute attack, brute force. So these are the very famous software which is basically just you need to pass the word list and this word list basically contain a lot of password combinations. So if you just even go to the Google and if you search for various word lists, so you'll find out which is freely available over the Google. So that basically list contain a combination of the password which is a very generic password. So if your password has been one of that, then the brute force attack will give you the result that that particular website has been with this particular combination of the passwords. So that's how the brute force attacks works. And the basically as we see talking about this security. So this software is like the hacker basically has only the intention that what are the weakness of your website that has to be find out, and that the one of the is the brute force attack. SQL injection. So SQL injection is something which is a if your form that any form which is not only the WordPress form, but if you have created any application which is it can be on the CI, it can be on the Laravel, or it can be on the WordPress. So this SQL injection just a script basically through the again there is a software which basically used for to SQL injection only, and this pass the script from your form and this get the access on your website. That is how the SQL injection works. So the particular attacker don't need to be get into the site. He just create the another script that is just attached to your login screen and just pass away to the particular login whatever the application has been created. So that how the attacker always use a SQL injection, which is secondary phase of the to attack on the website. As we already discussed about the brute force, so brute force has which gives the list of combination passwords. So if your password is contain that, so let's say if your password is 16 character and it's contain the alpha numeric, which is again alpha is a uppercase and lowercase and special character. So that particular password will take 2 millions of year to crack or to brute force. So that is the very important. If your password is very weak, you should always keep your password strong password. That is, I suggest 16 character. If you don't remember, so you can create your own song, which is it can be a combination of uppercase, lowercase, and the special characters. That's how you can remember the strong password. How many people are using RBAC, which is rule-based access control? Or just create one admin user and give it to the same to the all the over the organization structure. There are various people who do this practice. They give the direct admin access to the people who are working in their organization. So the RBAC is a very important, which is give you the scalability in the system where what particular users have the permissions to that particular system, what kind of objects, what kind of operations he can do, what kind of active permissions at that particular role has been assigned to that particular user. So that is what the role-based access control is very important when you are implementing any system. So as WordPress, if we are talking about the WordPress having this facility where you can create the roles and that roles particular user you can assign to based on that roles. So let's say, for example, there are subscriber, there is an author, there is an editor. So that way you can create the objects and the roles and you can assign those roles to that particular users. So that way you can minimize the security threat to your WordPress site. There is a three mantra for any application which you are using, because the news which is provided by the any software, which is if it is WordPress or it is a Laravel or if it is a CI framework. So they always release the security patches related to their framework. So these news are not for to just show on the site. It news for there is something important update. There is something security threat, and that is the reason they release this particular patches. So my recommendation, this three mantra for you, that you can always update your core, update your plugin, update your theme if you are using WordPress. So as we see in the Ruchit session that he's talking about the architect, which is if the people who are holding their hand, that the performance about talking about the hosting when the something happening. So that is what the challenges he's talking about. The same thing, which is when the security, when we talk about the concerns. So your hosting infrastructure is also very important. As one of someone said, I think Lax is only said that there was a shared hosting that he faced about something issue with his platform. So that is again the one of the common problem when you are using a shared hosting. So you need to figure out whether that particular hosting having that capability that where somebody upload a malicious file that will be stop at that level. That need to security, you need to check with that particular shared hosting or any service provider which is providing you the cloud service or VPS. That's how basically you can work with the for the reliable and secure hosting. As we are into hosting business and Mad Popo, we always take care about that the secure hosting, how we can provide to our customers. That's basically a challenges people face for their shared hosting. And we basically provide a services where the hosting, which is very core operation works for the security. So whenever the user upload any kind of file which is the malicious or any something trying to attack over the site, so there's our security software which is stop at that level only. So that's how the reliable and secure hosting works for your whatever the website which is hosted on that particular environment. secure and as FTP and FTPs. Like many people upload their website using this FTP protocol. I like to share the case study. One of my customer who reported that his site was get hacked. So this was basically he was using FTP software to upload his files, and every time whenever some days goes off, then automatically that site was get hacked, and something like the content which is was not published by him, that the another content was coming to his site, or site was showing some message that your site is hacked, you need to pay so and so ransomware amount, and that the how they can release the files. So this case study is like the person who was using, he appointed me as a investigate his particular the site was this getting hacked many times. What we did basically, we have done all the investigation, like server audit VAPT we done for that server, and we find out that there are so many loopholes which we fix with the VAPT, and according to that all the things what was the issue was there, so we have fixed. And then again after some days goes, and then he come again to us that even by hiring you, we find out the same issue again, that our site get hacked again. So what is the motto behind that? What is the use of that if you are hiring a cyber forensic officer for this operation? So what we thought to initiate the investigation process from his client machine, from where he is actually working. So we started VAPT for his client machine as well, and we find out the issue that all the happening was because of his machine only, because he was using a pirated software, which was a Adobe Photoshop, and that Adobe Photoshop software was he's not installed the license copy, it was a crack version, and that Adobe Photoshop was whenever he's try to open, there was an behind a proxy that the server software which is created, that all information was the transported from this particular machine. They collect that all information and send it to their source server, and from there basically we found out that the password was shared from that particular proxy. That is how the basically very important when you are using FTP protocol, which is without a secure protocol. So that's we maybe the one of the case which can be happen with you if you are using the non-secure FTP protocol. SSL certificate. As I said, various site which is don't have the SSL certificate. Right now, it's give the prompting on the latest browser that this particular site is not secure, but still that people are still browsing that particular site. If there is something SSL certificate not there, so people who wanted to target that particular site, they can easily get all the information which is passing through the URL. The man in the middle or man in the monkey who is sitting over the network, they can easily get all the transportation which is happening through your portal. If your portal is e-commerce, if your portal is something very famous, so they can get all your user ID password information which is passing through the network layer, and he can get into your particular site and can get all the crucial information which is there on the server. That's SSL certificate role happens. So I have again one case story which is not the basically site was get hacked. The people who was using Cloudflare, the Cloudflare which is proxy services, and people are using for their DNS. So this is something about that. The attacker has get their particular Cloudflare access, and they have created a rules on their Cloudflare account based on the basically a proxy rules, which rules basically target approach. Again, if the Windows machine is there, then this file has to be executed. If it is a Android phone, then this APK has to be in execute. So that's how basically the person who have reported a case, and we investigated, like we done all the VAPTs, the server level, we client level, this all we have done. But we fixes all these issues, but we find out that this issue was just still persists, that like people who are opening particular this site through the Windows or Android phone, they are getting targeted. So that's how we come to know that there isn't something DNS proxy also they are using, and we investigate this Cloudflare. Then we come to know that this is the rules has been created, and that is specifically user-based agent. That's how the attacker has been attacked to their users. So it was like that site was a traffic which is about 200 visitors per seconds. So you can imagine how many people who are browsing that particular site, they get into that particular thread. So antivirus and firewall, as I already explained earlier, that server level, you should use the antivirus or any firewall. So if you are open some ports which is not useful, or if you are opening this particular port, so attacker is not always try to attack with your website. They always try to find out the ports which are there on the server. So they can try with the 21, they can try with the 465, they can try with the 21. So there are various ports. If you scan that particular server IP, and we can find out various ports which is there, which is open on the server, and through, like, if it is there any vulnerability related to that particular OS level, so attacker can maybe come into your system with this particular open port. So you always protect your servers not only on the application level but also on OS level, where you can install the firewall. You can also update the OS patches, and the port which is not required. If you don't want to upload the files, you can close the SSH port, you can close the FTP port. If you don't require mailing service, you just shut down this particular port which is open for mailing. So that's how we can use the firewall and antivirus. Also, if you are using WordPress application, there is a various firewall script which is can be executed on the .htaccess level, where you can add this particular script on your .htaccess, and that can be protect on the your application level. So as we talking about that, one of the case which I discussed with you about the secure theme and the add-on Photoshop. So the same way, if you are using any crack plugin or any null plugin, so this basically in the internet, if you find out something null plugin or null theme, this is our basically create target approach approach only, because nobody can work for to give you free. Nothing come with the free. Only there is something behind the intention, and that is the reason that is available over the internet, where you can download freely that. But when you download this from unauthenticated source, which is, of course, there will be you are opening a backdoor for your theme, or backdoor for your site, where or server. So people can get into your site or server, and that's how your site can maybe hack. So always try to get the authenticated source, whether it's a plugin, whether it's a theme, or whether you are downloading any application also, that has to be from the authenticated source. Many people also, even for if we talk about the Laravel or any CI framework, so many open source application which is available, or many paid null theme, null script which is available. So many people use that for their platform. So this basically created a target approach only, where to get the data, whatever there on the server. So if it is something credit card information, if you are using for e-commerce, or you are using for any product-based system, or you're using for your clientele, where they have adding their client information or any subscribers. So that's how you can lose your data if you are using this kind of system. So always use authenticated source. The backup, which is very important, if you know about that ransomware is happening. So even ransomware happening, like, it's also target your backup as well. As if somebody's get the ransomware, so when they come for the restoration, so they find that the particular backup copy is also encrypted. So you need to think about that, how your backup and disaster recovery is working. So if you are taking the backup of your system, and if you not try to restore and not check that whether that working or not, that whether if something incident happens, so how your disaster recovery plan is working. So whether you're making copy of the backup on the server, if it is on the same server, there is no use because it's an already targeted server, and attacker may be in picture that he knows about that those people are taking backup on the same system. So you should always make the copy of the backup. It can be like a offline system, it can be on the cloud. So that's where basically you can make your disaster recovery plan. If something incidents happen, you should not get again, because sometimes what happen, you take the backup and you restore those backup, but see, unfortunately that backup is also infected, because let's say if your site was hacked and you have weekly backup process, so might be you have taken a backup, that backup was already infected backup. So if you restore that your site and you maybe face that issues again, because after restorations, because that copy is also infected, that it's you should make sure that you're taking backup multiple copies and that copies are not infected. With your antivirus software, you can scan those files and then you'll come to know whether backup is working fine or whether your disaster recovery. So backup is very important. So anything happening, that's all give the alert. If you are monitoring your system, let's say if it is the slide which I talk about, the ransomware or brute force attack, then anything which is something people have discussed about, that their site is sending spam emails or something, creating a lot of comments on their sites. So that those all you can monitor. If you are not monitoring your site, you will never know what happening exactly with your site. There may be something logs which you can give the idea about that what exactly the problem with your sites. So if you are not monitoring, then you will never come to about the detection what wrong with your particular sites. So it may be the particular backdoor has been creating to your site. So that access log will give you the information about that how the user has been entered into the system. So that's very important if you are not monitoring. If the monitoring gives an alert about that someone has tried to wrong combination password with the, let's say 5 times, 10 times. So that's the way you can do the trigger alarm, and we can protect a particular block the IP, that's or a firewall which can gives the protection about that. So monitoring is very important. There is various plugin which is available over the marketplace for WordPress, which gives the security alerts about or protect your WordPress site. So I'm not the author, I'm not marketer for this plugin. So you can use this at your level, because as I told you that news which is about the anything something come about for release. So it is for security patches. So if you keep one plugin and you are not updating, so there is no use of that particular plugin as well, as because you are not updating yourself. And as well as Ruchit inform about that, if you are not upgrading yourself or to any technology or not making aware yourself, so you are into very trouble for the people who basically always try to find out hunting about that who are the weaker in this particular digital world. So always protect yourself with this particular plugin or firewall, or try to use the antivirus software which is available, whether it's a paid or whether it's a free. And how many people has do their site security audits like VAPT? I want to know from all of you. Anybody has tried the VAPT? That's great, Amit sir. देखो आप जो प्लेटफॉर्म बना रहे हैं किसी भी कस्टमर के लिए, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट व्हाट प्लेटफॉर्म यू आर बिल्डिंग. As we are developing as we get very knowledge sharing from the Ruchi, which is the architect about the platform what you are trying to make, it is very important whether the platform has any backdoor or anything, something activity can be a problematic for your application or problematic for your servers. So that VAPT and security audit give the complete information about what is wrong with your application, what is wrong with your server. So this complete planning and the scanning give the complete explanation about that how you can fix that particular thing which is break down your system. So VAPT gives that information about. These are the resources which is available over the internet, where you can just use it and you can find out what can be the problem information which is available, whether it's on something related to WordPress or whether it's on PHP application or anything which is you are using, so that you can find out with the exploit. If you are using WordPress, there is an official documentation available for hardening your WordPress, and my GitHub repo, which is give the all the information about how you can protect your WordPress website. Thanks, Q. If you have any question, you can ask me. You can
So
connect
while
for the
while
Twitter.